place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard.
Woo! Mandalorian Season 2! Alright, so Mandalorian Season 2 is the second season of the Disney Plus series Mandalorian. And so the story of the season is basically what we derive off from the end of last season. Mando has to find the other Mandalorians in order to, for them to find a path to find a Jedi. The Jedi is supposed to take the baby Yoda, the child, now known as Grogu, to other Jedi, so he can learn the ways of the Force. And so, like, every episode was so interesting. The first episode was a very much, kind of a filler of the week, really, but it was an awesome little episode. The first episode of Mandalorian, it's like I'm going to be talking about every episode. This might be a long review. That first episode is awesome. And you're on Tatooine, you see this Marshal, and he just kind of walks into town with he kind of walks into the bar with the Boba Fett armor. And he's like, "You're not Mandalorian, need the armor now, do it now or I kill you." And it's just like a very... but the episode was such a western where he gets the guy who comes into town to help out his people. And so they go off to fight this, I forget what the thing was called, but he goes into town to try to save this one. So they go off into it, and then they meet up with the Tusken Raiders. And then basically they had to team up with the Tusken Raiders, and they had to team up with the people of the town. It felt like a classic western. Like, just the people of the town, the people, the natives, all team up to take down this bigger threat. And I just thought that was awesome. An awesome little episode. Completely filler of the week. But it was awesome. It was the longest episode of Mandalorian so far. And it's one of the episodes I'm really looking forward to rewatching. Alright, so then as the story goes along, Mando, he has to take this one person to this other planet in order to find info of where some of his people are, the Mandalorians. That episode was kind of a filler. It was the weakest episode of the series, probably so far. But it was still a very enjoyable episode. Of this season, it is the weakest episode. And there's not another weak episode this entire season after this. The next episode, basically, we meet up with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan, which is played by Katie Sackhoff. And you also have Sasha Banks, the wrestler, I guess? Sure. And she helps them. And, like, there was that great moment in the episode where he goes, "You've altered the deal." And she goes, "This is the way." And you're just like, oh, and then when she says the Jedi he has to go find is go find Ahsoka Tano on the planet blah blah blah. There she will guide the child, the family. And you're just like, oh, this is getting so good. Alright, so I'll skip episode 4. Episode 4 was fine. It was just a cool little, sweet little episode, heist little kind of thing. Episode 5, though, the introduction of live-action Ahsoka Tano. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ahsoka was awesome. I've always been the person who said, I don't want to see a live-action Ahsoka. Never do. I'm completely happy with her animated. We were getting live-action Ahsoka. I dealt with it. Loved it. I thought Rosario Dawson really captured the character that Ashley Eckstein and Dave Filoni really created. This episode was directed by Dave Filoni. And the whole episode, you find out a lot of the history of the child, which we learn his name is Grogu. And we see Ahsoka, she gives him the test, but she gets a little scared just because he has a lot of pain and suffering over these last 50 years because he was one of the Jedi in the Jedi Temple that somebody rescued him. I'm curious to find out who is. That's one of the biggest questions left unanswered. Yeah, so we get through that part as the episode felt like Yojimbo. There's even that moment in the episode when Ahsoka, she's the only one you see, and you have like the whole gang of criminals meet her in town. If you've ever seen Yojimbo, you will know what I'm talking about, because that is just so awesome, and that's what this series is. It's a homage to the classic Akira Kurosawa films, and also Sergio Leone's westerns, and I just love that moment. And then whenever she fights that one character, and then she says, "Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?" You're just like, are they going to introduce Grand Admiral Thrawn in Mandalorian? I'm completely on board if they do this. It depends who's they cast, and who knows if he's even going to be in Mandalorian. He might be in the new Ahsoka series, so we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so then Ahsoka tells Mando he needs to go to Typhon, that if he reaches out to the Force, a Jedi might be able to find her, because she can't train, because she is no Jedi. Great little moment there. If she didn't say that, I wish she had. It would have been such a great moment if she had said that. Alright, so then the episode continued, and then the next episode, he takes him to Typhon, and Grogu reaches out to the Force. But basically, Grogu sends it out to the Force through Typhon, and they start to you see the one ship, you see the Slave One, and you realize, holy crap, there's Boba Fett. Boba Fett's about to show up, and you see Boba Fett, he's looking for his armor. And then Imperials show up, and guess what? They take Grogu. And now we see Boba Fett in his armor, and it was such an awesome moment. As someone who's such a fan of Boba Fett, and always saying he's such a badass character, and just it was awesome seeing him actually do something and actually kick some butt in this show. Yeah, he was awesome. And it was awesome seeing the Slave One just in action, and seeing him fight was cool. But yeah, the Imperials, we get to see the Death Troopers, and even Moff Gideon's like, unleash the Death Troopers. And also, like, Moff Gideon, some of the parts of the episode, the early part of the season in episode 3, whenever he tells the one Imperial, it's like, no, you're not going to be able to be rescued. Long live the Empire, was such a Nazi Empire moment, which, you know, the Nazis are based off Empire. It just shows more and more how much of a fan and what Jon Favreau actually gets what he is doing. And that's what I really, really enjoy about the Empire, this menacing Empire we see in this, is far more intimidating than what we saw in the stupid Rise of Skywalker trilogy. I mean, look. Alright, so basically, and in episode 7, they had to get the information in order to go rescue Grogu in episode 8. And, you know, the episode was cool because they bring back that Mayfly character, who I didn't really like his episode back in season 1, but I just thought his journey and kind of realizing why he left the Empire, not everyone's such a bad person, and that moment in the episode when the Slave One rescues Mayfly and Mando he breaks his code. You see that more and more as the next episode comes along. But when he takes that helmet off, because he has to do whatever it takes to rescue Grogu. Back in the last season, I will never take my helmet off. You'll never see my face. And when you see his face, you're just like, damn, he'll do anything. But then that moment at the scene with the general felt so Inglourious Basterds to me. Just such a great moment. The final episode, just watched it, and holy crap, what an awesome episode. They go to rescue Grogu, and they go to Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorian character in order to get the Imperial cruiser to help Bo-Katan's journey into retaking Mandalore. Unfortunately, there's a little problem over there. But she also needs a Darksaber, because without the Darksaber, she cannot reclaim the throne of Mandalore and reunite her people. Because I'm curious if we'll see in the next season. I don't know what their next season's plan is after the post-credit scene. Yeah, it was just a cool little moment where you see when he goes in and he fights like the Death Trooper, beats the Death Trooper, and then he fights Moff Gideon. And that fight with Moff Gideon, he wins the Darksaber. And he gives the Darksaber to Bo-Katan, and it already causes tension because the whole problem with Mandalorians is they can never unite with each other because they're always fighting with themselves. And now he has won the Darksaber. It's just like the Elder Wand in Harry Potter, where you have to win it and be able to earn it. And that was just a cool little moment in that episode with Bo-Katan, and you're just like, there's gonna be a season around this attention. I'm gonna be curious to see how that happens. But then all the Death Troopers come back and they threw it into space. We're like, okay, it's over. Then you see you next week. And I was like, that's gotta be Luke Skywalker. I mean, what ball? There's no way that's gonna be Luke Skywalker. It was Luke. I saw the little black belt, the silver belt part of the Return of the Jedi outfit. And you see the lightsaber, and that's what we wanted to see in the last trilogy. And we got better Luke Skywalker here than we got in the entire 3 movies of Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. And to see him fighting, and it was awesome. Like, I screamed out loud. I was so happy to see Luke Skywalker in action. And then that sad moment where we didn't think it would happen, but I didn't think it would happen this quick. I figured it would be next season. But he has to let go. He has to let him go. And also see R2-D2 there and Luke, and it looked good. Mark Hamill looked good. He looked as young as he did after Return of the Jedi. And I'm just like, holy crap, this looks incredible. Oh my god, this is awesome. And yeah, he lets Grogu go, and that's the episode. And then there's a little post-credits scene where Boba Fett returns back to Jabba's palace, shoots up the one guy who had kind of taken over the thing, and he just moves the body aside and sits in the throne with the Mulan chick just sitting on his chair side, and you're like, okay, Boba Fett's going to become a kingpin. Instead of the guy who was always taking orders, he's going to become the head gangster. Curious to see what happens there. Overall, guys, Mandalorian Season 2 was awesome. Totally awesome season. Totally worth the wait. I can't wait for the next season. I'm looking forward to these other Star Wars shows. Mandalorian, along with Clone Wars, has kind of restored my faith in the Star Wars franchise. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Your thoughts on Mandalorian Season 2? Where they are, comment below, let me know. And guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, see more, tell your friends about Easy Nation. And until next time, may the Force be with you. Always.